What if the only thing standing between you and the year you actually want is your willingness to release what no longer fits? Not because you failed, not because you're behind, but because your soul already knows what's done. Today, I'm guiding you through a reset ritual, not a resolution, not a to-do list, but a powerful internal recalibration that prepares your mind, energy, and nervous system for aligned action, consistency, and real momentum. Because when you reset correctly, everything else begins to shift. Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to Psychically Speaking with Lisa Ann, the place where intuition meets real life truth with just the right dash of sass. I'm your host, Lisa Ann, psychic medium, intuitive healer, intuitive coach, and your guide for clarity, healing, and soul-aligned living. And today's episode is one that I really want you to feel, not just listen to. So let's talk about resetting, not restarting your life, not reinventing yourself, not fixing what's broken. A reset is different. A reset says, I'm willing to pause long enough to notice what's actually working and what isn't. And this is because your mind responds to permission, not pressure. So, as you listen, I'm going to invite you to let your nervous system soften just a bit. You do not need to do anything yet. You just need to become willing. And willingness is powerful. Let's talk about the first layer of the reset. I like to call this the willingness to let go. Now, most people don't resist change. They actually resist letting go of what feels familiar, even when it's exhausting, even when it's not working, and even when it keeps repeating the same patterns. So I want you to notice this phrase just gently landing in your mind. I am willing to release what no longer serves me, even if I don't know what comes next. Remember, willingness doesn't mean force. It doesn't mean instant magical clarity. It simply opens the door. Because the subconscious mind hears, I'm willing, as safety. And when your system feels safe, it loosens its grip. Take a moment to ask yourself, without judgment, what habits feel heavy right now? What commitments drain you more than energize you? And what thoughts loop on a repeat and they never actually move you forward? You don't need to answer immediately. Your subconscious is already sorting it all out. So let's move to the second layer, willingness to take action. Now, this is where most people get stuck. They wait to feel ready, but your brain doesn't change through insight alone. It changes through action paired with emotion. So instead of asking, what should I do this year? Try asking, what is one action I am willing to repeat consistently? Notice the word willing again. It's not forced, it's not perfect, it's not overwhelming. It's just willing. When you say, I am willing to take aligned action, your mind begins scanning for opportunities instead of obstacles. And here's the magic. Your identity starts shifting before your circumstances do. You begin to see yourself as someone who follows through, someone who shows up, someone who moves forward even when your motivation dips. I want to share a quick analogy that I think most people can relate to. Think about your closet. At some point, we all reach that moment where the closet is so full, yet we still stand there saying, I have nothing to wear. The clothes aren't bad, they're not broken. And as a matter of fact, some of them were even your favorite at one time. But they don't fit the life you're living now. And here is what most people do. They keep cramming more clothes into the closet. New outfits, new ideas, new goals, but the closet never feels better. Well, life works the same way. You can't create a powerful year by piling new intentions on top of outdated patterns. At some point, there has to be a reset. Here's where the subconscious resistance kicks in. You don't want to get rid of the clothes because I might need these someday, or this used to fit, or this cost a lot, or what if I let it go and then I regret it? Does any of this sound familiar? We do the exact same thing with habits, relationships, routines, and identities. Even when they're uncomfortable, even when they no longer support us, they feel familiar. And that is powerful retraining of your thinking process. And things that feel familiar feel safe to our nervous system. So the mind holds on, not because it's working, but because it's what we know. Now imagine this instead. You finally decide to clear the closet, not in a dramatic, emotional way, but calmly. You don't judge the clothes, you don't criticize past choices. You simply ask, does this support the life I'm living now? That's the reset question. It's not good or bad. It's not, shouldn't I have outgrown this by now? It's just simply, does this work for me today? And when the answer is no, you let it go. That's what we call willingness in action. Now, bring that analogy into your life. Some of you are still organizing your year around old schedules that drain you, old expectations of yourself, old roles you've already outgrown, old coping patterns that kept you safe once but now keep you stuck. And here's the way that I want you to reset that. I want your subconscious to absorb. Letting go doesn't mean loss. It means space. Space for clarity, space for energy, space for consistency. Just like a clean closet makes getting dressed easier, a clean internal landscape makes action simpler. This is so important. If you try to be consistent without clearing the space first, it feels heavy. But once the clutter is gone, consistency becomes easy and it becomes natural. You don't have to motivate yourself to wear the clothes that fit. You reach for them automatically. And that's how aligned habits work. They don't require force. They require fit. So if you've been feeling stuck, overwhelmed, unmotivated, it's not because you lack discipline. It's because there's something going on in your life that no longer fits. And today's reset ritual isn't asking you to throw everything away. It's simply asking, what am I willing to release so my next steps feel easier? Because the moment your subconscious hears easier, it relaxes. And a relaxed system changes faster. So as you continue to move forward in this new year, don't ask yourself to do more. Ask yourself to clear more. Ask yourself to clear more consistently. Because when the space is right, action flows, consistency sticks, and your year begins to feel powerful and not pressured. So let's move on to the third layer. Consistency over intensity. Now, let's take a moment to normalize something. Consistency doesn't look dramatic. It looks quiet, repetitive. Sometimes people may even think it's boring, but your subconscious mind loves repetition. Every small, consistent action becomes a signal to your nervous system that change is safe and sustainable. So instead of thinking, I need to do more, try letting this idea settle. I choose consistency because my system responds to stability. Consistency builds trust with yourself, and self-trust is what fuels momentum, not the hustle, the pressure, and certainly not burnout. Momentum comes from knowing you'll show up again tomorrow. Now, I want to give you a simple reset ritual you can return to anytime you need to this year. You're simply going to just take a nice slow breath in and release. Now, mentally repeat these statements to yourself. No overthinking, no analyzing. I am willing to let go of. I am willing to take action on. I commit to being consistent with. So go ahead and fill in those blanks for yourself. I am willing to let go of ... I am willing to take action on ... I commit to being consistent with ... That's it. No timelines, no comparison, no pressure, just alignment. Your subconscious has already received the message. So here's a fun challenge for the week. Choose one area of your life, just one, and ask yourself each morning, what is one small action I am willing to take today? Then just do it, even if it feels small and insignificant, because consistency compounds quietly. And one day you look back and realize, wow, everything has shifted. Now, just as a final thought, a powerful year doesn't start with doing more. It starts with clearing space, creating willingness, and choosing consistency over chaos. Remember, you do not need to become someone new. You just need to return to who you already are with intention. Thank you for joining me today on Psychically Speaking. If this episode resonated with you, I truly appreciate you subscribing to the podcast, leaving a review, and sharing it with someone who could use a little inspiration. It's one of the best ways you can help this show grow and reach more beautiful souls. And remember to join me for my free weekly Psychically Speaking Live, held via Zoom every Tuesday night. It's a place where we gather ground and talk real life through a mind, body, spirit lens. Until next time, trust your intuition, honor your truth, and always remember your power begins with you.